everybody in the world blind. Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like
Welcome back to another episode of Lone Star College Football. We officially heard from Bijan Robinson and Demarvion Overshown that they are going to be declared for the draft, which we all kind of expected, but still kind of sucks. I say it sucks. Bijan will be a first-round draft pick, so that'll be good for the university to finally have another player from our wonderful, wonderful football program over the last decade to finally go in the first round again. With that being said, Bijan Robinson, I don't have to read off the stats. Y'all know I'm going to read them off anyways, just because he's just generational elite talent. He had 258 attempts, 1,580 yards, 6.1 yards per carry, and 18 touchdowns on the ground, as well as 19 receptions for 314 yards and 2 more touchdowns through the air. As a player, he was, just phenomenal. Let's be honest. In his first year as a true freshman, we saw glimpses of it. Tom Herman was kind of a guy who was going to play his older players no matter what. And we saw early on that Bijan was the best running back in the room. Tom Herman probably saw it, but didn't care. Keontae Ingram was going to play over Bijan no matter what. Which kind of sucks for Bijan because his stats are so crazy good and they could have been better. I don't have exactly. I can look it up real quick. His true freshman season, he didn't play anywhere near enough. Like, if you look at this year, he had 58 rushing attempts. Last year, he had 195. Well, in 2020, he only had 86. And he averaged 8.2 yards per carry on 86 carries. Like, that's impressive. That is impressive. Either way, this video is kind of about the fact that he's leaving, but it's also just to look at who we have currently in the room and then who we have coming in this recruiting class. Because one thing about Texas is I don't want to say we will never, because it could happen to any program, but it feels like we'll never be short on running back talent. With how we stack talent at that position, it's honestly, it's kind of amazing. So as of right now, Roschon Johnson has not declared for the draft. We know that he did accept his invite to a Senior Bowl, but he has not declared for the draft. I haven't seen anything about him opting out of a bowl game. So as of right now, we still technically do have Roschon Johnson. I expect him to leave. I do not expect him to play in the bowl game. I do not expect him to come back for another season. But as of right now, we do have him. And then behind him, just going in order off the roster from last season, not necessarily the stats, we had Keelan Robinson as our number 3 back. He had 17 carries for 59 yards, no touchdowns. Jonathan Brooks as our 4-back, not fullback. He's a power back for sure, but he had 24 carries for 179 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then as our 5th running back, we had Jaden Blue, 15 carries for 33 yards, no touchdowns. This is a really interesting part for our program because when Keelan Robinson came in from Alabama, and last year was his first year, and he didn't play all that much, I thought he was going to leave again. But he came back, and now we have a situation where we have him and Jonathan Brooks and Jaden Blue, and they're all pretty, we are playing pretty good when they do get touches, and we have 2 guys probably leaving, and so it's like, who's gonna be our 1-2 punch? Is Steve Sarkisian a 1-2 punch kind of guy? I think so. At Alabama, it seemed like there was always 2 running backs always in the mix. Some teams are like, no, this is our guy. He's gonna get 90% of the touches every game, and then our second back, if he gets tired, we'll put in our secondary running back. Steve Sarkisian doesn't seem to be that guy, at least especially not at Texas. But while he's here, the way he talks about Roschon Johnson, I honestly think Roschon Johnson's his favorite person on the team. And so there could be a part of it where it's like Bijan's our number 1, but he loves Roschon so much that he's like, I've got to get him the touches. So next year we'll see. We'll see is he still going to be a 1-2 kind of 1-2 punch, and who's the 1 and who's the 2, right? So with Bijan and Roschon, well, it's kind of a different dynamic because Bijan is Bijan's a bruiser. He's not crazy fast. He's not gonna burn you, but he's fast. But he's a bruiser back. He can lower the pads. His center of gravity is incredible. And then Roshan is an all around. I mean, he can block, he can run, he can catch. I mean, for goodness sake, he was a quarterback when he came on campus. I think we wasted his arm, the fact that we didn't let him throw the ball to Wildcat more often. So with Jonathan Brooks and Keelan, I mean, Brooks is pretty quick. We saw him break a freaking huge touchdown run against Kansas, but Keelan Robinson is faster than fast. Like, Brennan Thompson's probably the fastest guy on the team, and then it's got to be Keelan Robinson. And so it's how do you find that dynamic of what kind of a running back do we want? Do we want a bruiser like Jonathan Brooks, who's got some speed, or do we want Keelan Robinson, who is probably not an inside? He's probably the toss and outside zones kind of run where we get him into open space and just let him go. It'll be interesting to see coming in this recruiting class. We also have the number one running back in the country of Cedric Baxter, as well as Trey Wisner out of DeSoto. And if y'all saw the highlights of him from the state champ game, he played well. DeSoto won their state championship game. So congratulations to him and Jonte Cook as well. They're going to come in, and I think they're going to compete. I don't see them coming in and just sitting. I say that Jaden Blue only had 15 touches this year, so they may have to sit a year, but I think they're going to get on the field as fast as they can. They will get on the field. Next up is Demarvion Overshown. He had 49 solo tackles, 46 assisted tackles for 95 total, 4 sacks, 5 passes defended, no interceptions, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries. He was second on the team in tackles. That's going to be hard to replace no matter what. The only benefit is, as of right now, Jalen Ford has not declared for the draft. He's a junior. He's honestly a guy, I don't know why he would stay. He had such a good year. The only reason I can think he would stay is because last year was so unimpressive. Maybe having one good year is not enough at that position. Maybe it's like, all right, you had one great year, develop a little bit more, come out next year, put together the same performance, just maybe elevate it a little bit, and then you're a high round draft pick. I'm not entirely sure how the program thinks they stand with Jalen Ford coming back. But, the linebacker position for Texas has always been a severe position. It feels like we are the exact opposite of running back. The linebacker position, it's like we always need help because the other guys we have are Devin Richardson, which I think he's in the portal now, Jed Bush, David Benda, Tucker Dorsey, he's a senior. I don't know if he's coming back for sure or not. I think he said he was. Brockermeyer. Yeah, just honestly a bunch of names that are not super impressive. And so it kind of worries you at the linebacker position. But the only reason we can have some confidence going into next season is because we did just land a huge commitment from Anthony Hill, the number one linebacker in the country, 5-star, 6'2", 225 out of Denton. He's a guy that comes in and he starts. He's got to start day one. I'm pretty sure he's an early enrollee, and he's got to come on campus, and he's just got to get with it. He doesn't have time to get on campus and try to figure out the college life of how do I do this? What streets do I go to for this? He needs to come in. We need guys in the locker room say, all right, here's your classes. This is what time you need to be there. Here's practice. Be here. Stay late. That's it. You gotta get down to business. And I think it's probably a lot to ask for, but when you're going to a university like Texas, we've had so many recruits come in the last few years, and they come in and they want to get into the college life, but that's not why you're here. Okay. Austin can be a great town for all that, sure, whatever. But if you're going to Texas, we need people who are coming here to play football. Like that, play football, get your degree. Those are the two important things. In the off season, you can go have as much fun as you want to on 6th Street or whatever those streets are Other than him, we also have Darian Gillette, he's classified as an edge rusher on Horns 247, but he's the same size. I mean, he's 6'2", 220. He could probably play, outside linebacker if need be. It's a lot different than like our other edge rusher, Colton Vosick, who's 6'5" and a half, 225. So about the same weight, but 3.5, 3 inches taller. As well as where's he at? Samaje Burrell, 6', 215. He's a real athletic guy. I saw videos of him doing backflips. When you get linebackers who can do backflips, these guys, like when you're doing stuff that the quote unquote skill position guys are doing, you're fast, you're quick, your intangibles are there. All right, and that's good for us. As well as Leona Lafau from Hawaii, he's 6'1", 210. Man, this recruiting class is loaded. So we really just got to get these guys on campus and get them working out, get them in college shape, and we'll see how it goes. So best of luck to Bijan, best of luck to Demarvion. Got to enjoy watching them play for the Longhorns for the last 3. Bijan's here for 3. I think Demarvion was 4, maybe even 5 if he uses COVID year. So got to enjoy that. Appreciate them and hope that they do well in the NFL. If y'all made it this far, do appreciate y'all rocking with us. I always forget to say this at the beginning. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, as well as call in the number down below for Casey Crutcher over at Rollo Insurance and see what he can save you on your home, auto, life, health, and commercial insurance. And it's not just for the state of Texas. It is for the state of Texas, but not just for, as well as New Mexico, Utah, Georgia, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. If you're in any of those states, he can save you money. He saved me and my family money, and he can probably do the same for you. It is a free call. So just call him and see what he can do. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. Look on.